State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the top.
They take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Ryan Williams still spinning free. Touchdown! The touchdown in the first possession, back in the game, and he's loose again. Edwards off and running. Welcome back, Donovan Edwards.
He's going for the corner. He's got it.
This is the Gridiron Uncensored.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast. The season previews again are rolling along. We are going through the Big 12, and this one's going to be, I think, one of the more interesting teams that you should watch out for. Even though their season in 2024 went poorly, look at Utah, man. I kind of like what's going on there. Tonight we got Blake, Trevor, myself, Brennan, and we're ready to talk, boys. How you doing? Let's get on to it, man.
Let's get after it.
All right, 2024, man. So again, they finally in this year, 2025, they're finally past the Cam Rising saga. That whole shit. 2024, they were still kind of under that. They were like, okay, he's back. He's kind of no, he's not. Now he's back. Okay, and I just feel like that the last two seasons for Utah, after what they'd been doing, they went in the Pac-12 and knocking out, some solid USC teams, with Caleb Williams and whatever. Once he was injured, it was like they just couldn't get past that. And I feel like, I don't know if they weren't preparing their next quarterbacks or they just did not like what they had. They couldn't get anybody in the portal that they trusted. I mean, you got some young guys on there, but it just wasn't good. And, finally now you look at 2024, look at that. See, I mean, just horrible. You start off all right. You beat Oklahoma State, but at the time you thought it was all right, but shit, we know how that went. And then you beat UCF at the end. Now you move on to 2025 and you're looking to start over, really. The Cam's gone. What do? You go on the portal, you go on, change some coaching stuff. What do you see, Trev, on the coaching staff?
Well,
how you feeling on it?
Well, I feel pretty good, honestly. I think they did a smart thing. They did a smart thing. So we talked about it multiple different times in previous episodes about the transfer portal and everything. That the New Mexico youngster went to them, Devin Dampierre. I'm pretty sure I pronounced his name correctly.
Your guy,
but Devin went, and he's projected to be their starter this season. Yeah. And ironically enough, they brought over Jason Beck, which was Devin Dampierre's offensive coordinator. So that's, I think that's a smart move. Get him comfortable right away. Have a guy that he's comfortable with. Some of the verbiages can be brought over from when he was at New Mexico to make Devin feel a little more comfortable with the offense and what they're going to be running. So, I think it's a smart move. And I think Utah's going to be just fine because Devin Dampierre, at New Mexico was turning heads. I can only imagine with the offensive weapons and the coaching that will be happening at Utah, what he could do this season.
Yeah, Blake, what do you think?
I'm a little concerned about him just because of the interceptions, the 12 picks. I feel like he's a Jalen Milroe 2.0. I feel like he's not he's a great runner, and when there's big passes to be made, he's able to make them. But my fear is he's getting into playing, Power 5, Power 4 teams now. Yeah. I don't think the level of competition that he faced at New Mexico is, par for par what he's going to be facing at Utah. But I do think he's a great athlete, and he is going to have a lot better athletes around him. Granted, they did bring a couple of players from New Mexico over with him. But overall, he's going to have much better offensive line around him. So that may help him out a lot. And he's going to have access to better coaches to help learn and develop as a player. So, it's really just one of those like wait and see kind of things, because I do think he's a freak athlete and he's incredibly talented with his legs.
Yeah, and Trev, I agree with bringing over, coach from New Mexico, which was a really solid New Mexico team that, they had their issues obviously, but offensively they worked out really well and they surprised some people. But I mean, you mentioned, let's talk about portal, because we already talked about Dampier coming in with the 37th class. You're turning your net production returnings in the upper 60s. So I mean, there's guys on this team, and the thing with Whittingham is I feel like he's earned enough to respect to always have solid teams. Like you always can trust at least one part of that team to be solid. And with the quarterback issues the last couple of years, it was rough on them. But I think they're getting back to that. Even Isaac Wilson, like he was a young dude last year, quarterback for him. But again, just it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. When he was playing. And I think you bring in Dampier, that's the guy. And I think everybody's got it circled. Can he make that jump? His rushing talent, I mean, is just incredible. He had 1,166 yards, 19 rushing touchdowns. He did throw for 2,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. Like you said, though, 12 interceptions. You dial that back, we'll see. Other things on the portal side, they brought in 21, 31 left. You're bringing in wide receivers, defensive linemen, guys like Devin Green, Merriweather, who was originally over at Cal, but we know how Cal went last season. A couple of key, guys you lost, a lot of the halfbacks. So they brought in some. That's obviously keys in. Zacharias Williams, and then Cam Calhoun would be the biggest one that's being lost to the portal on the defensive side. Anything else on the portal before we go talk more offense, defense?
Yeah, just Wayshawn Parker, period.
Yeah, good call.
Wayshawn Parker, period, out of Washington State. And then obviously Nakari, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure it's Nakari Rogers, the running back from New Mexico as well, coming over, shoring it up. And as of right now, according to some Utah reporting, Wayshawn Parker is the projected starting running back.
Yeah, he had a solid season last year.
He did.
And again, that's another team that Washington State that's just been torn apart by the conference realignment and everything, and there's still talent out there. So him coming in, that's big for Utah. Blake, what about you? Anything else you're seeing on it? That they've got some decent cornerbacks that I've seen in the portal. I think they're going to be all right.
I'm not too concerned defensively about them. I do think it'll take a couple of games to kind of plug and play, just to kind of gel together.
Yeah.
There's not much weakness other than quarterback play. Like if he's able to come in and play well, I think this could be a Utah team to watch out for. Y'all are cutting in and out. I don't know if y'all mentioned Otto Tia from Utah State that transferred in.
No.
He's a big wide receiver, 6'4", and that could really help too, having somebody big like that to throw it up and come down with it in the passing game.
You need those bodies, and then we mentioned other guys coming in like Justin Stevenson, another plus 6 foot guy over from Wyoming. So he's got some weapons. The line I think is going to be good again. It's like the line's there. It's just quarterback play has been so bad.
Right.
Trev, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say the turnover. It's basically a brand new wide receiving core with leading the way with Otto Tia, Zachariah Williams, Dadrin Zipperer, and Dorian Zinger, all going to be new to the quarterback. So it's like a lot is up in the air with the offensive side of the ball. And Blake's right. I mean, that's the biggest question. I mean, Jason Beck and bringing in over Dampier, I mean, they had the fourth best total offense in all of FBS last year, averaging 484 yards a game. I mean, while there was turnovers, when you're airing it out that much, it's almost bound to happen sooner or later, because all they're going to do is sit back and wait for you to run the ball.
And still with the talent you had, in New Mexico, so now you plus it up with with Utah's talent and Whittingham's style.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how this works out.
I'm curious.
Yeah, so defensively, I mean, we talked about it. I feel like Utah's always good defense. Like it's always, no matter what year, they find a way, they plug and play. Even last year, throughout the struggles, their defense was, bright spot. Morgan Scalley's their defensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure he's the head coach in waiting. He's always just turning them out. And I trust what they're doing. I like I see what they're doing in the portal side, what they've recruited, and just kind of their scheme too. There's some holes to fill that I've seen on the defensive line, but there's been good edge additions, I thought. Holtzclaw coming in again from Washington, Jackson Jones, Oregon. You got corners we mentioned coming in from across the league. What do you guys? You mentioned defense. You're not worried about it. So I mean, it boils down to, all right, can this quarterback get this thing going? Because if he does, if he squares that shit away, this team is probably going to contend for the Big 12, in my opinion. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think he's more dynamic than any quarterback we've seen at Utah in a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no disrespect to the previous quarterbacks, but I'm just saying, like, as far as dual threat, you haven't really seen a dual threat at Utah in a while.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Rising was kind of, but not like this.
Not like this, no.
Well, it goes to like that, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I think Cam Rising was just that egg, and they never really had a backup plan because what was it, like 3 or 4 different quarterbacks played all throughout the season and just never did anything.
Yeah.
One thing I did find, and y'all may have saw it too, an interesting stat here. Over the last 2 seasons at Utah, when they rush for 150 yards, they are 10-0. And when rushing for less than 150, they are 1-7.
Yeah.
Since 2023 or 2022.
So I mean,
I'll probably run a lot this season, I would imagine.
And we might have screwed it up. I don't think we talked about the 2024 season at all. I guess I was excited. But you look at it and, real quick, they beat Baylor, Utah State, Oklahoma State. But then these games, I'm curious, where was the running attack against Colorado, against Iowa State, BYU? As Utah, you are the power team in the Big 12. Like, everybody expects the Big 12 to be, throwing around all these highfalutin offenses. Utah has always been known, even in the Pac-12, when they had crazy offenses. Utah has always been that stable. They can run. They can play.
They're going to shove it right down your throat, basically.
And if you can do that, you will win football. You will win football games day in and day out. So you get back to that in 2025. Watch out if they can do that. Even with Dampier's legs, plus, guys, they get the running game going, the actual running game, not just quarterback. This is going to be a dangerous team. Fine. You guys want to look at the 2025 schedule real quick? And because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Defense, I think, is going to be good. Offense, it comes down to this quarterback. Let's look at the numbers here. Utah, 7.5 is what I've got on the over-under from what I've seen recently. They return, again, in the upper 60s of production from last year, and that does include transfer portal. They had the 37th transfer portal class in their S&P Plus rating. They are 31st in the country. So the advanced stats like them already going into this season. Let's look at this because UCLA. I mean, they're dealing with that whole Nico, situation out there, and I don't know. Then you play Cal Poly, Wyoming's retooling, and then you kind of get into the Big 12. What are you guys seeing on this schedule? Do you think they get that over?
Yes,
I do. And the reason I do is that middle section, October into the first week in November, they don't leave the state of Utah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is simply the reason that I say that they can get the over, because they have such a long stretch of home games, plus a week off in between that's before that section of 4 games and after that section of 4 games.
You're absolutely right. I mean, look at all the biggest games that you can think of? Look where they're at. Blake,
I see 3 games to me of concern, and that's at Arizona State, at Baylor, and then I would not count out Kansas on the road late in the season.
You don't know what the team is even going to look like at the end of the season at this point, especially if they find themselves in a scenario where they have Dampier running around like a running back. Like if they're having a hard time getting the run game going and he's having to basically be the running game, that'll be a disaster if that happens.
This season, I don't feel like there's an in-between. Like usually when we talk floors and ceilings on a program, floors to me, worst case scenario. I've seen people say it's like, what you like 1 game less than what you really expect them to. To me, that's not a floor. So the floor is if shit goes completely sideways, where are they going to sit at?
Right.
So Utah, if this situation with the quarterback does not pan out, he's running for his life and things just
it could be bad.
It can be bad.
It can be another repeat of
easily be an under just as much as it could be an over.
They could have it be a 4-win team if it goes that south.
If
it goes they can't put points up.
So that's where I see like a floor 4 or 5, ceiling you could see 10. I mean, maybe 11. I don't know. It just depends. It really depends on how this team goes. But we mentioned it. You get Texas Tech at home in Salt Lake. You get Arizona State, in Salt Lake. BYU, that's in Provo, but they've got problems right now with the allegations at quarterback. And then you play Colorado in Salt Lake City, and then you play Kansas State in Salt Lake City. Those are huge games at home, and Rice-Eccles Stadium is a pain to play out for people. So that right there, Trevor mentioned it, Blake mentioned it. That's going to set up big for them. And it's just such a wild card conference. I don't know. So to me, the floor and ceiling is so wide, and also you play in with the quarterback situation and how he really hammers out. But I'm kind of excited to see what he does. Guys, so everybody's taking the over. I feel like
I'm going to take the over just because I do have the confidence in Dampier a little bit more than most.
I know
there's also
I love that kid.
Well, he's great on the game.
I'm rooting for him to have a great season.
Well, there's also like all the stuff going on in Utah about like the black magic, and there's a lot of stuff going on Twitter where people are saying that Kyle Whittingham is actually Lord Voldemort. And I've seen that hashtag going around, where is Voldemort? And I think it's highly possible that Lord Voldemort has infiltrated Utah and is secretly the head coach. And we will be using some Hogwarts magic in Salt Lake City this year.
You heard it here first, folks. It's confirmed. Blake's confirming it. And I think it's possible. We'll see what happens with old Utah. But I think we like what's going on there, and Kyle Whittingham getting things back on track. All right, guys. Well, let's close her down. We got more previews on the way, and we appreciate your time watching and talking football with us. Utah fans, let us know what you think. Are we off base? Are we right on? I mean, come on,
how are you really feeling about the 2025 season and all the transfers coming in?
Yeah, we try not to blow smoke up anybody. Try to tell it straight up like it is. Like, just let us know. How do you feel? We'll talk ball with you. That's right. Hit us in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
See you on the flip side.